Now that we have added our material, let's go ahead and add in a window. To add in a window, let's bring up our component palette. To do so, you click on Window and go to Component. Your window palette will come up like this. This is going to enter to your 3D warehouse. So if I click on here now, I can search what I want. If I click on the home button, that's all the things that are at home. So I can click on here, I can search what I want. I'm gonna type in window this time. And it's gonna search into the 3D warehouse. You have two options. Option one, if you see something you like, you can simply click on the picture. So for example, I like this kind of window. I can click on the picture. It'll give me the option to see the different types that is in that category. Or the second thing that I think is better is to click on the blue text. So let's go ahead and click on a window, for example, any one, doesn't really matter. I'm gonna click on it once. If I click on the blue text, it takes me to the 3D warehouse. I can type in window this time. And it'll take me into the warehouse where I can find different options that you may want. So I'll go ahead and scroll through real quick and see if there's something I like that kind of fit into the design that I want. So it's really up to you on how you want to design this. I'm gonna click on this one here. If I press this little button right here, it will allow me to download. This prompt is asking me, do I want to load directly into the model that is open? I want to say yes or okay in this case. And I will go ahead and bring it in. This is a component, the same thing similarly to when we make component on our drywall, our floors, our studs, and things like that. In this case, this window is could be bigger or smaller than the space that's allocated. So there are going to be a step process I want you to go through. The first thing is to make this window smaller. To do so, click on the selection tool, select the window. Notice it's highlighted blue. Go to scale. This here is scale or type the letter S. And what you want to do is to scale this down. Okay, so here's an example. I just downloaded a window that is not able to actually scale. And that's actually a common problem. I'm glad I brought this in. So if this were to happen to you, you're gonna right click and click on explode. And then what you have to do again is right click again and explode it again until you can't explode it anymore. So I'm gonna keep exploding until something like this happens. Okay, now all my objects are now surfaces. And what I want to do is click once, hold and drag so that my whole window is inside of the frame that I've just created. That allows me to select everything. And I will make this a new component by right clicking and say make component. I'm gonna say create. And there you go. Now I have created a new component. So I'm gonna go back to scale and allow me to see these end nodes that allow me to scale it proportionally. So things you want to know. If you click on the corner ones, it will scale proportionately, meaning it will scale all at the same angle. If you click on the middle top, then it will scale vertically. If you click on the left middle, it will scale horizontally. If you click on the front side, it will scale forward and backward, the thickness of it. So in this case, I'm gonna grab it and scale it from the corner. Notice there are little things that are still left behind, residue that are left behind. I can delete those things later. I'm gonna select this window, press M for move, or click the move tool, grab it from the endpoint on the corner, and drag it over to the endpoint where my window opening is at. Notice my window right now is a little smaller than the opening, which is great. That's exactly what you want. So now what you're gonna do is you click the scale again and grab the top middle and drag it and point it at this line. Doesn't matter which part of the line, just click at the line and then click once. It will set it to the exact same height. I'll do the same thing on the side here. I'll click it once and drag it to this side and make sure it points at that line, the edge, and click it once. And now my window will fit perfectly. Look on the outside. The problem is it's not thick enough. So I'm gonna grab this endpoint and drag it to the outside surface and click on the outside surface and click it once. And now you can see I have a perfect set window. All these residue, I can select them all by clicking once and dragging and press delete. Let me just go ahead and download a different window to show you if there's one that doesn't have to allow you to explode. So I'm gonna click on the little blue text again and type in window one more time. And let's try to download one that does not force you to download to explode. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, okay, I want to upload this window. So this one is actually a unique one. You don't want to get one that snapped to the window like this, because what it does is actually it will cut out a hole inside of the space that is there, but we created components, it won't cut through. So we don't want those either. We go back in and click on um, the 3D warehouse and type in window one more time and find one that might not allow you to do any of those two things that just happened. So let's try a different one again. Let's try this one this time. I say, okay, and here you go. Let's try this guy. Now that I got this guy, I can now try to see if it fits and allow me to scale by clicking the scale icon. Ah, there it is. So this one does not have any of the problems that we saw earlier. So the two problems, one, this one you had to explode, two, the other one was snapping to the floors, and we don't want any of those. You can have those, you can have this one if you want, but the one that snaps to the floor, let's try to avoid that one. But this one here is gonna be just fine. So let me just try that as well. I'm gonna delete the original one. This one here has a little frame. So if you want to put the frame on the inside, you can, or you can put the frame on the outside, and you can as well. In this case, if you want to rotate this window, let's just say it came in the wrong way, such as this one, I will select the object, press M for move, and you know how to do this before. You go and find the node on top, which is allow you to create a compass. You click once, you rotate it 0, 90, 180. Similarly to our last project in the past. Click it once, and it will rotate in the direction you want. Remember, 0, 90, 180. In this case, on the bottom right here is negative 180, and that's perfectly good. Now I'll go ahead and just grab my move tool, grab from this endpoint here, because that's going to be where I will be scaling from. I'm going to grab it, move it into here, snap it right there, grab it from the top, use the scale tool again, grab from the top, middle, and scale it all the way up until you kind of see it snapping like that. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Remember, this edge is a little bit off, so it won't snap perfectly, but that's kind of what you want. You're gonna eyeball that just a little bit. Whereas the front side is where you're gonna be pulling it out further, so that way it's gonna overhang just a little bit like this. So you have a window that has a little ledge that's smaller on the inside and then bigger on the outside. That's what's gonna look like. Here's my window. Now that you have the window, watch the next video to show you how to download your furniture.